What's up? And welcome back to the Kind of Funny's Love, Sex, and Stuff After Dark. Of course, I'm Tim Geddes, and I'm joined by the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Tim, top of the evening to you. How you feeling tonight?
Top of the evening to you. It feels good to be back. You know,
I can't even remember the last time we did this show. It was the old studio, right?
No, work from home. We did a couple.
We
did a couple of the call-in shows, but yeah, the show's had many iterations, but it's been with us since the early days of Kind of Funny.
Yeah. Well, we used to go around in the park, if you guys remember that. We'd dole out love advice that you guys would write in on Patreon and whatnot. And that was always fun because we got to shoot with one Sean Finnegan. And then unfortunately, he just got engulfed by snakes.
Exactly.
So we're not allowed to go out there. But that whole pandemic thing, people were like, it's very weird for you guys to be this close to each other, doling out love and sex advice. So we took it to the home. Of course, where all the magic happens, in our respective bedrooms.
Yes.
Theater room, of course.
Of course.
That's where you get busy. It's spooky.
Who knows what's going to happen today, everybody? This is an amazing set.
This is pretty incredible. So obviously, yeah, we're flexing a little bit right now. We're using the new set, and we're getting ready to give some incredible love advice out.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, we've been iterating on this show for many, many years, and thanks to your support over on patreon.com/kindoffunny, when we launched the spare bedroom, we're going to do 4 of these this year.
We are.
These fun little after dark extravaganzas, and we decided we want to switch it up a little bit, like try to hit different time zones. So this one, first time we're ever doing it at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Hitting that 5 to 7, seeing what's going on, a little later than we normally do
We
here.
thought about calling it Love, Sex, and Stuff Happy Hour. Which we should have done. I just thought about that right now. That's pretty good right there. But
there's a lot of things we should have done, Nick. It is 4:20 right now.
It is
like
4:20
I
right
feel
now.
like we're not taking full advantage of this.
I feel like, real talk though, I think we're being very responsible because we do actually take this quasi seriously. Obviously, we are not doctors.
Cowards.
We are not therapists. We are not licensed physicians or therapists or anything like that. So any advice that we give you, of course, take with a grain of salt. If it's a medical related issue, please go to the doctor. Go talk to a licensed physician or a doctor or even a veterinarian. Those are going to be way more qualified than us. I don't know why I say those. Veterinarians go through a lot of schooling to be able to do what they do.
Well, I think you say that because, of course, the people's problems, a pet doctor is not going to help them.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. Unless you guys are into some really weird puppy play like Snowbike Mike. It's an inside joke from which the Folsom.
Yeah, I feel like. Oh man.
The guys in the okay.
Here's what you're gonna get here, everybody. You're gonna get a lot of good.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
If we were high right now, more comments like that would come out, and it would be bad. So it's better that we're a little sober right now. Because I think that's very, very good. I do have it on good authority that there's a couple people in our sphere. Not necessarily in this office, people we know who are celebrating 420 very, very hard right now, and maybe their edibles are going to kick in. So we'll see what kind of questions we get for the rest of the night. We'll see what happens.
That's where the fun comes in. Of course, we try to take this seriously. We try to give actual advice.
We do.
We still have fun. We make jokes, but this is all in good fun. We're trying to stay positive here. We're all here as a beautiful community together. So that's the goal for the night. Have fun, hang out, and hopefully help some people out. There are multiple ways that we can answer your questions, but we've decided to recruit the best of the best, the master of hype, Snowbike Mike, to help us run this show. Isn't that right, Mike?
That is right, Tim and Nick. I'm excited to join you here in the spare bedroom for a special edition of Love, Sex, and Stuff during happy hour. And isn't that the sexiest of times, Nick?
Happy hour, Mike, they don't call it happy hour for nothing.
It's a good point. It's a real good point.
We're at the local watering hole. You and I, Nick, lock eyes from across the bar. It's a solid 5:10 p.m. I might be putting down some breadsticks. You locked in with those cheesy sticks. And what happens?
Oh, love at first sight, Mike.
Love.
Mike, I'm going to tell you a thing right now. We're going to pull this back for a second. We got Blessing here because he's going to ask a question first to kick this off. But before we do that, I want Mike to know I invited him to my Santa Cruz show yesterday. Did a great, fun comedy show at Santa Cruz Mountain Brewery. I love going to Santa Cruz because it's Snowbike Mike's vibe. He calls me 30 minutes after I left and was like, I'm ready to roll with you if you want me to. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that. But there were 2 things that shouted Snowbike Mike. 1, sitting at a wood table in the sun, drinking an IPA. And 2, Mike, they had those big, fluffy, juicy, just massive pretzels.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that have the salt
those.
on them that you can pick off and eat, and that's just all sustenance that you need right there. You would have loved it, Mike. We'll get you on the next one.
Mike, I want you to know you are live on camera right now.
Hey, we're on the couch right now. Check it out with the power of the spare bedroom. But yeah, Nick, nothing better than getting some sun, some rays on your face, and you never know where love could
It
strike.
looks like Mike's vagina is glowing.
Oh my God.
You never know where sex could
Sorry.
come, because I'll tell you what, nothing better than a little ballroom sex right there. But
There
we're
it
going
is,
to talk
Mikey.
about all
There.
fun things today because, of course, this is Love, Sex, and Stuff After Dark on a very special edition. And I have a very special guest joining me here on the couch. Should we stay on the couch or should we get some light on us?
I mean, whatever looks best.
Okay, whatever looks
It's
best.
definitely not this.
We're going to come out to the stage in just one moment. But, of course, I want to remind you, Kind of Funny best friends, this is a show all about us, the community, having fun and answering our burning questions with Tim and Nick. So if you have some burning questions of love, sex, and maybe just stuff that you want these two awesome dudes to ask, of course, you can write in with your super chats and or Twitch resubs with those fun questions. Or if you want to hear your voice heard, if you want to actually interact with these two jabronis, you can join our Discord. That link is in the chat right now. Of course, we're hosting a center stage where you can come on up, raise your hand, we'll pull you up one by one. And then the coolest part about that, Bless, of course, we're going to give you the fast pass, the lightning lane, as those Disney kids say. If you gift out 2 Tier 1 subs over on Twitch, or if you super chat with a $10 donation, we'll let you bump the line so you can get your questions answered right away. But Bless, let's go walk up to the stage and let's go ask a burning love question that you might have for these two.
Yeah, let's set the stage right. We're going to have Bless start the show with a question to kind of get all of your gears turning. Remember, you could be a part of the show in all the ways Mike just said. But it's going to be a fun night. Remember, it doesn't need to be love or sex questions. Stuff's part of the show's title as well. If you're just looking for life advice, we are here for you.
Well, to kick off our first question of the night, Blessing, the young prince, what do you have for these two?
What's up, Tim? What's up, Nick?
Hello,
So this comes out as a follow-up to this morning's KFGD, of course. Today is 420. It's a magic number. But there are many magic numbers out there.
There are a lot of them.
One of them being 69. Now,
I am well acquainted.
my question, well, actually, that's great because my question is 69 more than a gimmick? Because this came up as an idea, right? If you asked me, have I 69 before, right? And me being like, just once, and it wasn't for me, right? I didn't enjoy it. I didn't get much out of it. My question for you two is there more than 69 than what there may seem, right? Is it more than a joke? Is it actually like a legitimate practice that you can have a lot of fun with?
Shall I go first to kick
It's
things
you.
off?
I'm ready to go, but go for it. Nick.
Here's the thing. It depends on whether you're a giver or a taker in this world, okay? I myself, as you guys all know that, I'm just arguably one of the most giving people that I know. I'm giving it out everywhere I could possibly give it out. Tim, you want some of it? Look in your pocket. You got it.
I already got it. Yep.
For that reason and that reason alone, I don't like 69. I think it's a gimmick. I think it's very difficult for both people to focus. And I would like to just look, guys, I get to the office early every day, right? I'm never late to the office. Okay, I'm never here at 10. I'm never here. I'm here. I
want to know where he's going with
You know
this.
what? Because I like to get here.
Nowhere.
I
He
like
just
to
knows where to start.
I like to get here. I like to put the work in, and I like to go home satiated.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at when it's coming to my mouth, the special part.
I got it.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what I like. So the 69 thing is always annoying because I feel like you always feel like, oh, I got to give her a little bit of feedback for like she's doing a great job, but also I just want to focus on this,
You want to
right?
be in the moment.
I want to be in the moment. It's like when we're trying to play Mario Party, right? You're trying to dominate Mario Party, but Kevin's trying to shock you with the shot collar. Like, it's fun for everyone, right? Turns you on a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're thinking to yourself, I'd rather just be playing Mario Party right now. And that's where I'm at with 69. Let me just do the old school, go through the tunnel looking for gold, and then let me go home.
Yeah. I'm on the other side of this. I am a 69 enthusiast. I will admit there are many issues. There are many challenges. There are many obstacles. And a lot of what you guys are saying is all true, where you can get distracted. They can get distracted. You really kind of got to focus on what you're doing. But I have found that when you just commit and they commit, it can be a beautiful thing. But it still is it can't be like the only event because I feel like that's too much pressure for everybody involved.
Sure.
Angles, sizing is a very big deal.
Well,
When you're a taller person,
Yeah.
when they're a smaller person,
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
got to figure some things out. But guess what? Everything can be figured out. And sometimes hard work's worth it.
I think it's just a great way to leave teeth marks on your pichalik. That is my only problem. Is when everyone starts getting real into it, there's focus that gets lost, and you got to have focus when
Yeah.
it comes to that thing.
But see, that's the thing. And I like all jokes aside, I think that the secret to it is you got to be focused on what you're doing, but you also need to realize what they're doing. So that means you might need to back off for a second. So just let them do their thing so you're not getting those teeth marks.
I feel like it comes down to this, right? Can you play piano or can you play trumpet? because I'm a trumpet guy. All I can do is move this one hand. I can't move this other hand to play piano. I can't play drums. I can't do all that. My brain cannot focus on two things at the same time.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm always getting knocked out of. You got to get like the spiral going when everything's going on. You got to work it up, and you get that like synergy, and everything's going on. And boom, 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 when it climaxes.
Yeah.
I always get knocked down a couple pegs because then I get like worried. Also, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Am I gonna accidentally hit her on the ears with my knees? I don't know what's going on down there. Just stay away. Let me do 1-to-1. Do my job. You hired me for a job, ma'am. I've come here to fix your plumbing, and that's what I'm going to goddamn do.
See, I just think that at the end of the day, 69 gets a bad rap. I don't think it is superior. I don't think it's the best way to do it, whatever. I just think that it gets a bad rap where it is worth it. It's worth the investment. It's worth the time.
Nutting off 69.
That's the thing. I've never nutted off. I'll be honest. I've never nutted off 69.
All right.
I'm going to be very honest. I never have, but that's okay. That's okay.
Of course.
That's
Of
okay.
course.
I mean, that's fine. But when you say viable, right? When I think viable, I think we take this thing. I say we take this thing.
I don't
to
think
the
I
end.
could.
I could.
Yeah, I can't. I can't do it.
I don't think I could.
I could do it.
It's a weird
I'm
angle.
going to do it one day.
It's. I just feel like
God
it takes
damn it,
too much
Tim, I
focus
believe
for me
in
to
you.
do that.
Thank you, Kevin.
There you go. We can make that happen tonight.
We could try
We can
it.
do it. We can try it.
I'm down to experiment.
There it is.
I mean, I'm down to see you experiment and like, come back with the results. You know what I
This
mean?
is about to get us kicked off of Twitch.
It's a great way to kick off this show. Bless, thank you so much
Of course.
for
Thank you
joining
for the
in and all the fun here.
Thank you for the
Love, sex, and stuff after dark.
There you go. I want to give a shout out to everyone subscribing with
Smalls
us Prime over
HD
in the
says
Twitch.
Tim is a 69 apologist.
He is a 69.
Hey, I'll take it, dude.
Again, look, if you're loving it, you're loving it, and that's your thing. And again, I think, is it valuable as a foreplay technique? Absolutely. There's nothing better. But let's be honest. I'm there for a minute before I'm like, let me get to work. Let me cook. Let me cook.
I
You know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Let him cook.
Let me
Tim.
fucking cook up. This thing, I was a trumpet player for a very long time. I have a sex till I was 21 years old. This thing got a lot of work, a lot of experience.
Yeah.
In all of the areas of expertise. You're not hiring a handy guy. You're hiring a fucking master carpenter to come out and build that house for you, Mike.
Let him cook.
Let me-
Of course, Kind of Funny best friends, whenever you hear a great question and a good answer, make sure to put some golden stars in the chat. That's what tonight's thing's going to
Yes.
be. We're going to put golden stars in the chat, and we're going to celebrate. And if you think that Tim and Nick went above and beyond with their awesome love, sex, and stuff advice, of course, you can subscribe at the tier 1 through 3 level, or you can use your Prime Gaming sub to show them some love and, of course, show them some support. Don't forget, if you're watching over on YouTube as well, you can super chat with those burning, loving questions that you have, and I will make sure these guys hear it. But we turn our attention right now to the Discord. Of course, don't forget, you can interact with these guys live right now and get your voice heard on tonight's episode. It's happy hour, so hopefully you're out early at the bar drinking and having a good time. But we're going to bring up some best friends to have a live call-in right now. Our first one is going to be one Nevins Island, a.k.a. a young Nick. Nick, you are now live and in the call. If you can hear us, please sound off.
All right.
Hello.
What's up,
It
Nick?
worked. What's going on, Nicky?
Hey, how's it going, Tim? How's it going, Nick? Hope you boys are having a great 420. I hope Mike's having an even better 420.
Hell yeah!
It's good to talk to you guys as always. I have a love question that also goes into a life question.
Okay.
Mike knows this. I'm 22 years old. I'm graduating in 2 weeks, so I'm going to be out of college in 2 weeks' time.
Nice.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
super exciting. With that, I'm moving to a new city, but that city, I already have some roots there. My brother lives there. I have some good friends there. Should be super fun. But with all that, gentlemen, there's a girl up there. There's a lovely lady that I've been talking to now for about a month. She initially thought I was a F-boy a couple months ago.
Were you, though?
That was the first thing. I was not.
Okay.
I was not.
Okay.
She heard that. She heard that. Back in the day, maybe a little bit, but recently I've been very much a relationship man. I've been a commitment man. Anyways, now we've been talking. She knows that I'm not like that, that I'm very much looking for a relationship. And so I'm moving. We've been texting every day. We FaceTime. We talk, all these things. Moving to a new city. One, what would you say is your early out of college advice? So this is just the life stuff. This is not the love and sex stuff, just normal advice. But then also, what would your opinion on a first date be? What should a good first out of college, first time hanging out one-on-one? We've hung out one-on-one a little bit, but nothing too serious. what would be a good official first date in a new city? Thank you guys so much for your time. I love both you guys a lot, and thanks for having me on the show. And it's always good to see you, Mikey, too.
I love this so much. My first question is,
Great question.
So are you now moving where she already is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I've traveled there a few times on vacation. And also I knew I was going to be up there, so I was like, all right, I got to hang out with some friends. I met her on New Year's Eve. And that was apparently I didn't know this. I thought she was really cute. One of her friends told me, without knowing the full story or just heard a story, told her that I was an F-boy, stay away. And so, we've been talking ever since a little bit. And then once that all cleared up, we've been talking every day, nonstop, having great conversation.
Where do you want to start, Nick?
Here's where I'll start. I love that you're moving to her city, and I feel like this is a great opportunity for you. First off, I always think you should have a plan in place. If you're asking someone on a date, you should have a good plan. But I do think that this might be a real opportunity for you to be like, hey, I would love to take you to your favorite restaurant and have you show me around. But obviously, I'm taking you. Like, you're still taking her out. You still, take care of everything, whatever. But I would say, like, hey, you're new to town, but I want to take you to your favorite place. Maybe that's a good place to start right there. What was the other question? Oh,
let's jump it off that.
Let's do that first.
Real quick for a second, because I love that. I think putting the power in her hands is great because this is her home field, right? She knows this place better than you do. Having said that, what you got to do, the pro maneuver, I feel like you should do some research and find a couple options. But not too many, maybe 2 options of places that you're like, this would be a good date spot that you think would be a good date spot from your taste, just from looking at it. So you can put it on her of, hey, find a place. I want you to recommend me something. I want to take you. Like I'll cover it, whatever. And then see her reaction to it. If she has an answer, run with it. No matter what, drop. I looked into it. I have these places if you want to try them.
A couple other places, yeah.
Yeah,
and
because that way you kind of get the best of every world, right? You get to make suggestions. You get to show that you put the work in of caring and thinking, but you're also giving her the power to share something with you that I think as a first date, that's really special. Hopefully she chooses a place that means something to her, and then you guys have a beautiful little meet cute story.
Yeah. And hopefully it's not the French Laundry, so you're not dropping like $500. But I will say this. When you say, hey, I want to take you to your favorite place, if she says that's a great idea, get the name of it, you make the reservation. You make all the plans, you do all this stuff.
Yes.
Don't make her do any of this stuff. Don't be like me when I first started dating my wife. I was like, I don't know where to go. I don't know. Where do you want to go? And then she had to make all the reservations and all that stuff because FYI, she ended up breaking up with me. We got back together. It worked out. But that's how that worked out for you. But I think that's great. As far as life advice is concerned,
22
years old. Everything's brand new. Your eyes, is that the sun? I just got out. Like I'm born. I'm just born right now. Take as many positive, fun risks as you possibly can right now. You have nothing tying you down. You can do whatever you want with your career. You should travel as much as humanly possible. Now is the time to risk it to get the biscuit. Don't wait till you're like 30. Don't wait till you're 40. You got a kid. You got the mortgage. You got the thing. I hate my job, but I got these 2 kids that I kind of like, so I got to take care of them. Have fun. Get out there, travel, and figure out what you want to do in life and aggressively go after it, even if that means taking some risks. That's the most important thing. And it sounds crazy, but risks in your 20s are not as risky as risks in your 40s because you can fuck up as much as you humanly want right now, and really it's not going to matter that much. So have fun, try shit, fail all the time, just enjoy your life.
I don't think there's any one-size-fits-all answer to everybody. Obviously, everyone's different. But I will say that in my experience, I have seen that a lot of people I know, and especially now being able to look back at it, the 22 to 25 range is extremely important for people. And a lot of things happen. It's your first time kind of really being an adult. You're not in school anymore for the first time. I think that is such a big deal.
That's a great feeling.
It's a lot to take on. But the thing is, right, like what Nick was saying, like take the risks, but also understand you are responsible for things. So I do think that there is a level of maturation that I'm hoping you get to sooner than later if you haven't already. Oh, it sounds like you might have it. Your hesitancy towards the F-boy stuff, I think, is good. Because, like, on one hand, yo, dude, have some fun. On the other hand, it's like the quicker you can get to who you want to be by, like, 25, it's only going to set you up better for the future. Everything you're saying right now sounds real good to me. Making a big move after you graduate, there's somebody you're talking to that has potential. Don't put everything in that basket, though. I think that's the most important advice that I have for this situation. Let's try to make this work. Let's hope that this works. But don't let this, if it goes bad, affect your new life. Because this is just a potential start, but it is a real start to the rest of your life.
And I'm going to say these things. I have to remind everyone right now. What are my 3 rules? Okay.
Wear a condom.
Rule number 1, always wear condoms.
Mm-hmm.
Rule number 2, don't hurt anyone, including yourself. Rule number 3, always wear condoms.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the third one was. I'm pretty sure there was
Those are
one
all
there, but
good-
those are
good
good.
rules, though.
Just wear those and have
What's
fun.
your third one?
Don't shit where you eat. That is a good one. That's
That's a
thank you,
very,
Kevin.
very good one.
Don't shit where you eat, but always wear condoms. Single most important thing you possibly do, especially when you're 22, because your life's just starting off and you don't have that thing yet in your brain where you understand what consequences are. But let me tell you what a consequence is. When it starts crying and you're the only person that can take care of it, that is the definition of a consequence. So don't do that. But have fun and enjoy yourself.
Good luck.
Be brave.
All right.
Be bold.
Thank you guys so much. And yeah, you guys are unbelievable, and you guys are putting me to do risks, and I love taking risks. So
Hell
you're
yeah.
awesome.
Sorry, I forgot the 4th rule. Bring lube. That's a new one.
Absolutely. Oh,
That's a new one.
That's not
I just
a new one.
wanted
You've
to
been
know.
saying that forever.
I know, but that was like the old school rules were 3. Now we're going 4. Bring lube. Everyone goes, I don't need lube. And I'm like, trust me, lube's going to change your fucking life. It's the best thing on the planet. Nick, thank you so much for your call, man. Godspeed.
much, Nick. Thanks, Tim. Have a good one.
I love this.
This is the best thing we do.
This is the best thing we do.
I'm glad we only do this once every 7 months.
Every time we do it, though, I'm like, this is
It's
the
so
most
fun, I know.
thing ever. I
Dude,
love being able to talk
I-
to people.
I like we've talked about before. I love this show because I used to love listening to Loveline over
Loveline,
on
man.
Rock. Man, it was so good. And just hearing other people's problems, just shit that like you would be going through, like, oh my God, I'm not alone in the world. Other people are dealing with this shit. And then having the Adam Carolla, which is me, just completely shut you down and make you feel like shit. Just such a nice balance.
It's just great. It's just great for everybody involved. Mike, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing so well over here on the love couch. Me and Blessing are enjoying our happy hour right now.
You can go home, Blessing. It's okay.
Oh, you can hang out.
Come on,
guys,
yeah.
We're enjoying the show. We might even grab him a microphone here in just a second so he can join me. Of course, over on the couch, we're having some fun and encouraging you, the kind of funny best friends, to come get involved. Like so many of you have already, we have people waiting on the phone line, and I have a write-in that I want to kick it off with. Side of Fries writes in and says, hey guys, after matching on a companion app and the vibes are good, how long until you ask the person out to a coffee date?
I would say you got to feel that out, obviously. But if the vibes are good after maybe 2 or 3 back and forths, I don't think it's crazy to say, hey, I would love to meet you in person for some coffee at some point.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy.
I think
that's crazy.
nothing is sacred when it comes to the early. If we're talking about a coffee date,
Yeah.
I think that there's no right answer because I think that you're not dealing with much. The stakes are super low. So if the conversation's going well, throw it out if it feels right. If it doesn't feel right, then obviously don't do it. But I don't think it matters if it's the first conversation, the 10th conversation, the 100th conversation. Like a coffee date is such low risk that I think that's a safe thing to ask for.
But also, I mean, my personal opinion, get it done sooner rather than later. Because if you're like, hey, I want to do this, and she's not feeling it, or he and she's not feeling it, cool, no big deal. You can move on before you're too emotionally invested. That's what all I would say.
Yeah, and coffee dates are really, really, really good because they're not that long of a commitment.
Right.
They're not that expensive. No. You can go on a bunch of them. And I feel like a lot of, from what I hear from my single friends that are on the apps a lot, there's a lot of first dates. And like, the traditional first date of like, oh, we're going to go to a movie and then a dinner and then this and that. If you're doing that 5 times a week, like you have no money, period. Yeah. So a coffee here and there, I think is a lot more manageable. And it gives both you and them the out or the in to back out and leave after a couple sips.
Right.
Or, hey, you want to go somewhere else after
Yeah.
this and like go to a park or go to something. Like the best goal, I think, when things are going well, is to find a way to be able to have a longer time to be able to be with someone and talk. Mm-hmm. So whether that is you guys have an excuse to walk with your coffees and go somewhere or go sit at a park bench or whatever it is, it's that conversation between the two people that can really, there's nothing that can beat that, you know?
That's what you're looking for. Honestly, if you're on a dating app and you're looking to take it to coffee, you're not just inviting this person over to your house to at like midnight, then you want to connect with the person. I absolutely think that's just a great way to do it. It's very low stakes. And again, my one point of critique or criticism or suggestion, I should say, don't make it a Starbucks. Find a fun coffee house. Find a good vibe place that you guys can actually talk. Starbucks is just synonymous with in and out. It's that big corporate greed, all that shit. You don't want to bring that into this relationship. Find a cool Phil's or like a Pete's Coffee somewhere.
I love that. I love that, Nick. Way to elevate that. Take it to a cool coffee shop, right? Like I used to have a really dope coffee shop back in the day, Blitz. Looked like a mini library up in there. It's just a cool vibe, you know? I love that. Nick and Tim, we have some more fun stuff coming your way. Of course, we have a long-time kind of funny best friend, who is ready to answer their burning question with all of you right now on the line. It is the one, the only, Ignacio Rojas.
Ignacio!
Been a while, Ignacio. How you doing?
Hello, guys.
What's up, man? How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Real good.
We're well, man. It's nice outside. It stopped raining. It's sunny. It's beautiful out. I love it. I'm doing well.
Over here, it's starting to get cold. Although it's been cold, hot, cold, cold.
Yeah, same here.
It's weird.
Same here. It's
Yeah.
fucking with my
Global warming.
sinuses.
It's real. Who would
Yeah.
have thought?
I mean, I hate it.
Who would have thought? It is
Certainly
real.
not me, and I really don't believe this Earth is this whole round Earth bullshit. I'm not talking. I'm not talking. I think.
Ignacio,
Nick
what's
Square.
your
I'm
question?
glad someone. What was that?
What's your question?
What can we do for you, buddy?
My question is, so I 2 years ago I talked to you guys also on love and sex stuff,
Mhm.
and I brought up how I just have never dated anyone. I'm 25 right now, and I feel like there's something that I don't know how to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
How do I go from being single to being with someone? And that time 2 years ago, I was in San Francisco. Tim, you suggested, hey, there's this place that SF State people go to. It's a bar, I think. And you suggested for me to go. And so I guess my question is, because first of all, that never worked out because the pandemic happened.
Oh, yeah.
So I had
That's
to
a
leave.
bummer. That's a bummer.
But even if it would have happened, I had a couple of those similar instances in SF. But my problem is always, I feel like if I approach a girl at a bar, I feel like I'm intruding on her space,
Mhm.
that I'm bothering her.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is that all these thoughts in my head thinking, hey, I'm not a handsome guy that's coming up to her to talk to her. I'm just me. And that forbids me to even getting close to anyone. And I guess my question is, what are you guys' thoughts on how do you approach someone? Do you approach someone? Is that actually a good setting?
My
your
thoughts personally on it, I've never been able to go to do one-on-one bar stuff. That's never been my vibe. If you're at a bar with people and you want to talk to someone you might be interested in, I find the easiest way to do that is in groups, so that the stakes are very, very low. You can get to know people, you can see if you vibe with them or not, and then it's not a matter of you having to muster up the courage to walk up to a group of women. That can be a very, very intimidating thing, and then have to quote spit game, which it just
Yeah.
never works, right? I think the last time we talked to you, my advice was like getting out into other circles of people that maybe aren't bars or are like activities or, clubs, just other things you can do in your environment where you can make other friends. And then I think those love connections will just naturally start to happen as you meet more people. Because remember, at the end of the day, I feel like dating someone is kind of like a job interview. In that, like, if you just put all your eggs in one basket, where you're like, I like this one person and I'm going to go straight for that thing, well, then that's putting so much pressure on that. Whereas if you go out there and quote unquote, and I hate to use the term, play the field, where you're going and you're just meeting people because it's fun to meet people, eventually you will connect with someone. But you got to put yourself in those environments that are conducive to that. And a loud bar where you got to spit game, and it's never been my thing. Unless, again, there's like 30 people and Tim's like, oh, I got this person that's like, she's cute. And I'm like, oh, she is cute. And then all of a sudden we're in an
man, if
environment where
only
it's
I had
okay to
Tim
talk
with
to
me.
each other.
Yeah,
If only I had Tim with me.
Nick is so right. It's like you need to find the right groups of people and like just meeting people. And the more people just means there's networks of connections with kind of like the flow chart of it all, right? But specifically what I was talking about is like this one bar is very much kind of like known to be like, this is where SF State singles go. And this is where this is a bar that's not just a bar of you just randomly meeting people. It's like, you go there because you're looking to meet somebody
someone.
and
Okay, that's cool.
and make connections and stuff, and also and connections can mean a lot of things. But so it's not just go to any bar and stuff. I think that the bar hollering and all that stuff. I think you have the right attitude of like, don't expect that you can just talk to anybody at a bar. That's not a God-given right in any way, shape, or form. That's why you need to kind of find the right ones to be able to go to for the right experiences, and definitely like respect personal space and all that stuff. What you were saying all about the not being handsome enough and all of that stuff, don't worry about that. I know it's like easier said than done, like for sure. Everybody has their insecurities about anything. And even more than insecurities, just the nerve of going up to do something that might face rejection. No matter what that has to do with, whether it's relationship wise or otherwise, it's intense. It can be scary. So I feel like for you, it is more just about being authentic to who you are and trying to find groups of people that appreciate that.
Right.
And again, I know that's like easier said than done, but really is the magic that kind of, once you get in with a group, that's only going to get you more and more groups.
That's my thing is like we've given this advice out to a couple people before because we've had this question before, which is it's very difficult to meet people when you don't have things that you're super passionate about that get you in those circles of people, right? And like I think the people that are most attractive to me are the ones that are confident. When I think of confidence, why are they confident? Well, they're having fun, they're having a good time, they have people around them that make them confident, and that's why flying solo dolo can be the hardest thing. That's why it's like I think first off you got to find a little bit of yourself out there. Find things that you love. Find groups that you're attracted to because of your passions. I know you're a big gamer. I know all those things about you. So like that can be hard too because our gamer lifestyle is kind of like sit on Discord in your spare bedroom.
But I think that's changed in a good way, where it's like gamer lifestyle used to be you're in your bedroom, whatever. Now it very much is a community thing.
Well, now we're back out. We're also back out into the world too.
But out in the world, but I mean, like the Discord thing. It's like, the Discord is kind of the greatest thing ever. Like you can genuinely hang out and talk to people and like talk to them. Like it's real conversations. It's not hiding behind text and stuff. It's real intimate conversations, as intimate as you want to make them. So I think there's just a lot of opportunities out there. But yeah, definitely playing games with people and all of that. But again, it's all about respecting boundaries and start with just being real and having a good conversation. And if there's a connection starting to form, that's when you start to take it to the next level. Don't just assume any woman I'm talking to, this is the one that I should try to turn into a relationship, because that is toxic, and that also is very much going to leave you in a bad place.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. I mean, obviously, my thing is always like, don't put the pressure on yourself. Just go out and meet people and see who you vibe with, and maybe you never know. You make a lot of the worst that can possibly happen is you make a lot of friends. That's awesome. Yeah, that's one of the things that I love. Like personally, I love that about stand-up comedy. It's one of the reasons why I started doing stand-up comedy, because a lot of my friends in my group started having kids. Spoilers. When people in their 40s have kids, they go, boom, we only hang out with people that have kids. So I was like, I like comedy because I'm making friends and I'm around people who are like dynamic and maybe a little bit younger at different phases of their life. It's cool. It's a fun thing. And if I were single right now, it might lead to some of those love connections. Although, again, that would break rule number 3. Don't shit where you eat. Yeah. So just remember that. Always remember the rules.
So let me put you guys a hypothetical, kind of based on real stuff.
Sure.
Say you guys were 26 right now, and you were just moving into SF and you didn't know people and you were single, what would you guys do?
I would start doing something that I like at night. I would get activated. I would go out there and do, for me personally, I would do comedy, I would do jiu-jitsu, I would do anything that I know is community based. Like jiu-jitsu has a big community that everyone's like, it's like a family, right? People love that. If I could do more of that, I mean, these guys go away together all the time, things like that. And so I would find functions that speak to my passions and go there, because at the very least, you're gonna make a couple friends that can be your roll dogs going forward. Remember also, Ignacio, like I didn't get my shit figured out till like 30. So 26, like you might feel like you're old, but like I got the job at IGN when I was 25. Before that, I was living hand to mouth, dating maybe a handful of people here and there, but like I was like, how do I pay my rent every month? That's what I was worried about when I was like 25, 26. So don't be too hard on yourself. I didn't get married till I was 30.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's just the way it is these days. So
I think that is such an important thing to put out, because I've been with Gia for like, I'm bad at math. I don't know, 8 years, I want to say. It's been a very, very long time. I mean, I've been with her as long as KindaFunny's existed. So it's like, I'm so lucky. We did it. We found each other. Before that, things were not good, everybody. Things were very, like, Ignacio, I felt exactly the way you were talking about for the majority of my life. And it really was communities, and it was different, like, hanging out with groups and having different opportunities to meet new people was the best thing, because I really think Nick's answer of like do something at night, I think is so good, because if you just find something that you can get into that you actually enjoy, you're going to meet people, and then those people are going to want to rock with you because you're a good dude. And so when they are like, oh, you should meet this person, I think that's like the best way for people to meet from like 24 to 30 something, for them to meet, is people recommending you try because they know both of you.
Yeah.
So the more people you know and the cooler you are to them, the higher chances this is going to work out.
Yeah, and again, it's like it's all just a matter of like what's the worst that can happen is you're gonna have some cool experiences, meet some cool people, and that's what it's all about. And at the end of the day, you're gonna grow, and when you're ready, you'll find someone that you connect with, and you'll go forward with it.
Yeah, I guess it's just been my fear that I said 26 based on something real because I'm graduating hopefully this year or next year, and my plan is going out to the United States to live.
Yeah.
And so that's gonna be the situation that I'm gonna be in, pretty much alone. I mean, depending on where I am, pretty much alone, and what to do. But I guess you're right. I think that the best course of action would be to try to find those connections with other people.
You got to do it. You got to do it, and you got to do it right when you get here. So you got to give it some time. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there are also like resources, like apps called like Meetup and stuff, where you meet with large groups of people and like you do different things like hiking or like you kind of look through that and see what you have interest in. And even if you have a little interest, you can go and check it out and use that to meet people in a city that you're new in.
And jumping off of that, Gia's mom met her and her dad got divorced and a couple years ago, and Gia's mom started doing these community things for like different types of passions that she had for hiking and things like that. And it was more of like a friend, just like I just want to be around people and meet new people. And she ended up meeting her new boyfriend. So it's like and they've been together for a couple of years now, and it's going super well. So that was not the goal at all, but that ended up happening because when you're around like-minded people that are doing something for a similar reason, you find people you like.
that's the thing, dude. It's always the thing. Whenever you want the thing real hard,
You're not
going to
get it.
It's
Yeah.
when you stop worrying about that and start worrying about yourself and doing all this other
Yes.
fun shit, the thing comes to you.
Every time.
Every single time. So that's my advice to you, bud. Good luck. Godspeed. Good to hear your voice
you.
again. And we'll see you. We'll see you in the Twitch chat tomorrow.
Okay, see ya.
you, man.
And Tim, I sent a super chat for you. Hopefully you'll read it at some point.
Okay.
We'll get it right now.
Thank you so much, Ignacio Rojas. Let's get some golden stars in the chat right now. Some great questions.
This is my
some
favorite
great
I love this
answers.
shot.
It's just high enough that it's like slightly off-putting, but the pink lighting is coming through.
Mike's,
It's great.
the Razer laptop, how black the laptop is.
It's so good.
It looks like a sensor bar.
It looks like. What I also love is like,
leak.
what did we call this? We call this the hookup couch.
I don't know. I don't like that.
Mike and Bless the love couch is
leaning
live
into
right
it.
now.
He's here, baby.
Of course, we're
I
having
love
some
this,
fun here with another
Whoa.
special edition of Love, Sex, and Stuff After Dark. But of course, it's happy hour for this special one right now. Of course, it's also 420. Blaze it up. Happy Holla Blaze. But of course, if you would like to have some of your questions answered by these two jabronis over on the set, Tim and Nick, please write in or join us over on the Discord where you can be pulled up on center stage. To round out Ignacio Rojas, who wrote in and also called in, he says, I would like to propose a
What is that? Oh, Makoto Senkai in review.
Okay. Tim Geddes? Do you know that name?
I don't know what that means.
I think it's just another anime studio.
Maybe it's sexy anime.
Maybe it is. You know what they call that, Mike?
Oh,
They call
your
it
name.
hentai.
Oh.
It's your name and all that stuff.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
yeah, weathering
okay,
with
okay.
you.
Got it.
Maybe one day, Ignacio. Not
Maybe.
the show to write that in for, though.
Let us go back to the phone lines because we have a very special guest joining us. I hear Craven Moorhead is ready to ask a question.
Is Craven
God.
back?
Is Craven here? I don't like this. Are you just gonna play a video? What is he playing? What is he doing?
Craven Moorhead, you're now live.
Hello.
Hello, Craven.
Fellas, I need to raise awareness and just get y'all's take. You know, over the past 5 years, we've seen this incredible elevation and innovation of the cowgirl position.
Sure.
We've gone from the standard straddle
Mm-hmm.
to the reverse
Yeah.
to the on 2 feet squat. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the hardest one.
How can we, fellas, return this favor? And I only have one answer.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna answer
we
for us.
have- we
Craven's
have
gonna
to
ask the
elevate-
question.
Not your
and
question.
answer for
This
us.
is just advice.
have to
Craven's going to
elevate-
give it to you.
All
That's what
we
Craven
have
does.
to elevate our doggy game,
Yeah.
fellas. We
Yeah.
have to elevate. When you think about doggy, The giver is behind and the receiver is on all fours in front. It is time for the giver to get off of their knees, get on 2 feet in a catcher squat position,
Yep.
and thrust down. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly
I
what you're
really
saying,
appreciate y'all letting me on this show to raise awareness on this critical issue.
Huge issue.
And I am curious as to your takes of other positions we could elevate and how. Thank you for your time.
I love this. Matt Seeds in the chat says cowgirl technology is progressing rapidly.
It's cowgirl. Like, I'm actually trying to figure out where to put my money: AI or
Yeah.
cowgirl technology.
Yeah. So
right now. I don't know where to invest.
I will say, Nick, are you familiar with the squat situation?
I am familiar with.
Do you know what they call it?
I do not. Squat and potty.
It's not doggy style.
Mm-hmm.
It's froggy style.
Froggy style. Okay, I understand.
Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
I'm sorry. I was stuck in the cowgirl position thing. I forgot we were talking about the doggy style.
No, it is the cowgirl. Yeah,
Okay.
the cowgirl, the more
Oh, that's
squat-
called froggy
yeah.
style.
Yeah, which makes sense. It
Can
makes
I be
a lot of
honest
sense.
with you about something?
Ah, you, of course, can, Nick. It's what we do here. Honesty and communication.
It makes me uncomfortable. Can I say it? Can I say it?
Wait, what?
Wait, what
It's too
does?
much work.
What?
I'm afraid she's not going to be able to walk the next day because the
frog
quads are going to
style?
burn too much.
Mm-hmm.
I do a squat for approximately 2 seconds in like a yoga class. I can't even go to the bathroom all week without
Yeah.
falling off the fucking toilet. So it just makes me uneasy. is all
But
I'm saying.
Mr. Craven here is bringing something up good, right? Putting it back on us as well. We need to get in that.
Well, first off,
so we can feel the burn.
here's what I'm going to say just across the board.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to wager a guess as the percentage of dudes to like women ratio of like who's better at the various positions, I'm guessing that we need to up our game just across the board. Is
Yeah.
all I'm going to say. That at least that's how I feel about myself. I gotta my doggy style. I'll say it right now. I'll say it first. No, but
What's
Mike,
Nick
I'm gonna
about
say
to
it.
say, everybody?
I got a weak ass doggy style.
You got to elevate that
Okay,
doggy, Nick.
I got to
You gotta
elevate that fucking.
it.
My
Well,
shit,
so what's
my
wrong?
doggy style is dog water.
Nick, I
is
agree.
all I'll say.
I agree right there.
That's all I'll
You agree
say.
that Nick has a weak doggy
We're
style?
awkward height.
I got a weak doggy style. Blessing knows.
Get up there and talk with them, do you? Oh, let us chime in from the couch over here because Blessing has some feedback right there.
Well, I don't have feedback, but I relate. And I think it might be because we're just an awkward height.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a height differential. That is true. That is very, very true. And it's intimidating when you have to get up on your tippy toes.
Damn.
It is.
Right?
It
It's
is.
really
Hey, let's
intimidating.
get real.
You
Let's be
gotta
real.
It's
sometimes.
real, Mike. It's real.
But like the burden falls on the shorter people.
It really
Whereas, like the
does.
short kings, we keep that all inside, and it's good that someone. Brought
And then
it
But I
out.
you
need to squat.
But no, but here's the thing. You're here, like you can't, when you're on your knees, it's too low. When you're standing, it's too high. So you're kind of squatting. And then occasionally your foot slips and you got to act like you meant to do that.
Yep.
Because she's like, what happened? Did you hurt yourself? And you're like, no. It's fine. It's fine. It's anytime that position comes up, the anxiety sets in. Because it's only a matter of time before, you feel it when you're like, I feel she's getting bored. Like I can feel she's thinking about what her week is next week and like that stuff. That happens the second doggy style starts for me. I hate
If you
it. I don't
elevate
like it.
that doggy and get on 2 feet and thrust down, not only will
Yes.
she thank you, you
Yeah.
will be rewarded.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for this,
Craven.
Craven.
Thank
We
you, Craven.
appreciate you.
Thank you,
Craven
Craven.
Moorhead, I want to chime in and say thank you for that, of course. I call that the jackhammer. I
The
appreciate
jackhammer?
that. I definitely think that needs to be used. I would also challenge all the guys out there. You got to elevate your finger game, okay? Fingering needs to be a point where you need to take it in and say, how do I get better? You know what I mean? So elevate your game. Curve upwards.
All right.
you gotta take the 2 fingers.
I'm glad we got
You
that out
gotta
of the way.
Curve upwards as you're going in and out. Don't just jam it in there, Mike.
Oh, wow. Blessing, thank you for the lesson right
He's
there.
Nick, remember when this used to be a respectable
It
show?
was never a respectable show. It's guys got to go spoon, not knife, always.
Okay. Okay, well, let's take it out
Never
to
fork.
the writing questions right now because I have some more fun writing questions. Let's go a little rapid fire with this one. The Moot writes in and says, hey, I have a taxes question. Of course, we cannot give you financial advice.
We are
but
not
we're gonna
financial
give you something
advisors or
fun
tax
right now.
attorneys.
I'm a new homeowner.
Oh.
I have friends that live with me and pay me rent.
Yeah.
I've read that this counts as a passive income. Before I go to a professional, what info do you have?
I feel like we have someone that can actually answer that question. Kevin, do you feel comfortable chiming in?
Yeah, sure. Well, it definitely counts as a passive income. A lot of people don't claim it. I've had like a lot of arguments with family members about.
Kevin's trying not to claim it. No, I'm kidding.
No. I've had arguments with family members being like, "Hey, you like the system's supposed to like work for you have to you have to pay into it correctly.
Mhm.
So basically saying like, hey, you should be claiming this. So when I started renting out spaces to friends, I definitely set aside 30%
For taxes.
Yeah. In a separate account,
Mhm.
That which is often over what you need, and then I'll go to my tax guy.
Yep.
You tell them how much you made. If you've had to repair anything or do any work on any of those parts of the house, that is a deduction. And you sit down and you're like, here are all the deductions. Please, God, don't be too much. And it'll be less than that 30%, and then you're good.
Yep.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
the
go.
right thing to do. If it is a family member, technically there's like a little leeway there where it's like doesn't necessarily count. I've had family members. We've also just counted it.
I've had family members.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, my
I know, I know.
brother
Yeah,
and my sister-in-law now. But like we just counted it because like it wasn't much, and at that, I mean that's the right thing to do, and we were able to put up a huge loss that year.
Well, there you go. And also, by the way, Kevin, we should say we are in California. So I don't know if you're in a different state, your laws might be a little different
Best
there. But I
state,
think
bro.
West
The
Coast, West Coast.
advice to give is make sure you get your taxes right. Do not mess this up. This ruins people's lives.
Don't fuck around. Save the money, especially put that money in a savings account so you can pay those quarterly taxes off or whatever taxes you're gonna have to file because that is going to be probably miscellaneous income at the end of the year for you.
I mean, it's not
Don's-
miscellaneous.
or passive,
It counts
sorry,
as-
passive. Not
it's
miscellaneous.
basically another income.
Yeah.
Adon Stands Alone says, I just got here. This is weird, LOL. Can you imagine coming in, seeing this logo, and having Nick talk seriously about taxes?
Hey man, you should have been here for the conversation we just had about my weak ass doggy style.
Let's keep it going with your weak ass doggy style and have some more fun questions come in. AWG writes in and says, I like a girl at my work and we're really good friends, and I would like to ask her out sometime. What is some advice you can give of asking her out?
We have the best advice, and unfortunately, it's not what you're going to want to hear.
You're not gonna
But
have
it
it.
is advice that we stand by till the end of time. Rule number 3.
Do not shit where you eat. Don't do it. She might like you back. I'm not saying that. I don't know. The feelings might be. But if it goes bad, this is your place of business. This is her place of business. It's going to get real fucking weird real fast. And at the end of the day, you need this job to pay for stuff like rent and food and electricity and power. And if you're Mike, any sort of snowboard that you need for that you're not going to use. Stuff like that. So don't mess around with your foundation here is all I would say. That is my advice. Rule number 3.
I think this is it's been a rule we've had since day one of this
Great rule.
show. And I stand by it to this day, and I think it's only gotten more true. I want it clear, I'm not saying that it's impossible that things could work. We know many cases of it working. It could work. But the ratio of disaster to working is just not worth the risk. I'm going to be honest. And at the end of the day, especially where we're at now in 2023, just don't do it. Just straight up, do not even try to initiate. Don't even think about it. In the early days, I would say like, maybe even in the earliest love and sex stuff days, I might have said, it might work. Hey, make sure if they're cool, whatever. I take that back now. Nick's told me since day
away from
one.
it.
And like, I hate saying that Nick was right, but Nick was fucking right.
Handful of things. And I'll tell you this, guys. Look. We've all broken the rule. This is definitely, unfortunately, one of those rules where it's like,
Straight up.
you gotta get burned by the fire before you realize not to put your hand in it. I've been there. It was there. It was bad. Just please know that it's gonna be bad, and don't do it.
Just
And
don't do
always
it.
Bring lube.
Don't
Number
do it.
4.
Great answer right there, everybody. Of course, we're having some fun here with another edition of Love, Sex, and Stuff with Tim and Nick. Of course, Mike and Blessing here on the couch, on the sidelines. And we got another call in right now. Jeff the Maverick is calling in. Jeff, you are now live with Tim and Nick. Please ask your question.
All right. So real quick, Nick, I'm so sorry. It breaks my heart that your doggy game is weak. I have a solution for you
Okay.
before my question. Jump soles.
Jump soles.
SOLES.
Okay.
That way
Is
you don't have to be on tippy toes.
It's the Dark Souls of doggy.
No.
the Dark Souls of doggy. That gives me anxiety. Dark
Anyway.
Souls is really hard. Got it. Thank you for that.
But my question is, so I am a single father of 2 kids.
Okay.
I work full time. Trying to also then go on dates on the weekends. My time is very limited, and I don't feel like I'm giving that person the time that I would want to give them to, put in that effort and make them
Sure.
see that I'm serious about it. So I just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts on how I can try to manage that while, also working full time and being a parent.
Right.
That is an excellent question. And like this, I'm going to start saying something and you're going to immediately write me off, but please don't, because this comes from a place of, of truth and honesty and like a commitment
And
to
communication.
me understanding people and knowing where things are. All right. I watch The Bachelor every single week.
Well, not where I thought that was going to go.
I know. And I have for years.
And
And there are a lot of characters, and there's a lot of archetypes on the show where there's like, oh, the people that are here for the wrong reasons, the people that just want to be influencers, the people that are actually here to find love, the people that are here for the second time, trying again. There's all this different stuff, but there's always the single parent. That is one of the archetypes. And honestly, I have seen that almost without fail, those are the ones that are legitimately looking for love the most. And it's the hardest for them because that is such a hard sell to finding new partners because you're now trying to ask them to be ready to have a family as opposed to just a partner. But the thing that I've noticed is that they are the ones that are often the ones that have the most connection because they have worked through things. They've gotten to a point of intimacy and understanding that they are ready for that stuff. And I do think that it is a harder sell up front. But if they're given the opportunities to have the one-on-one dates and all the things, they end up getting really, really far. And then it falls back on the other person of, are they ready to be a partner and a provider to children? And you want that answer to be yes. You need that answer to be yes.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I think you're in a situation that is like playing on hard mode. But I do think you also are in a position where the people you're talking to, the moment you start seeing that they're actually receptive to you, you need to run with it. They're there for it. They get it. They know who you are, and you guys are in a good place. The most important thing we always talk about in the show is honesty, communication, understanding who you are.
Yeah.
Sounds like you understand who you are. So I think that's step one. Now it's just a matter of taking it to the next level.
I agree. And I think, first off, kudos to you for taking care of your kids. I appreciate that very much. And I think you understand, based off of how you phrase that question, that your kids have to come first. And
absolutely.
that, of course. But I do think that you got to cut yourself a little slack. And you do got to get out there because your happiness is directly tied to them, right? If you're putting all your time into your children, which you should probably put in 90% of your time into them, but if you're putting 100% of your time and you're worn to the bone and your needs aren't being taken care of emotionally, that's going to eventually kind of trickle down to them. That could affect your overall family's happiness. So I think it's good that you're getting out there, and I do think it's good that you're spending some time doing that. And unfortunately, you can't dedicate a ton of time to it. But I think to Tim's point, like being honest with these people that you meet, telling them that this is your priority. If you keep hacking at it, one day you will find someone that potentially is in a similar situation and or gets where you're at, respects the fact that you're a good father providing for his family, and wants to be a part of that vibe. And you owe it to yourself to keep trying. The only other thing I would ask is, like, do you have a support group of people that can babysit for you? Do you have a brother or sister or like your parents around so they can take the kids off your hands for like a Saturday night so you can go out there and hang out?
Yeah, so for the most part, I am kid-free on weekends, but I'm a cook at a restaurant.
Okay.
Weekends.
So you're working weekends.
Yeah, so I have Saturday night is my the golden hour. That's Saturday night is my night. So I'll go out, hang out, but also working full time and having 2 kids. Sometimes I just would go home and sleep.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to get out of that. COVID put me in that habit of, I just have to go home after work.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get out there. I've done a couple open mics. I've been on a couple dates.
Congrats.
So,
I think,
it's just
I'm sorry,
it's
go ahead.
trying to juggle all of them. That's the issue. I think.
Honestly, man, that's everyone. I mean, I know that some people have it easier as far in the dating pool, but life got real hard after COVID, and I think we're all still unpacking that a little bit. So I think the most important thing is to keep getting out there, keep expanding your comfort zone a little bit with it. Obviously, don't overextend yourself. Hey, there's also lunch dates, stuff like that you can potentially do if the kids are in school. There's all sorts of things you can do, but keep trying and take care of yourself, because I think it can be really, really easy to lose yourself in this situation, especially if you're working full time. So I would say if you can carve out any other days for it, that might be a good idea as well. But I think you're on the right track, man. I think you got to just keep hacking at it, honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. The one thing I do tell other parents is if you're not self-care and all that is so important, because if you're not happy as you're like, if you're not taking care of yourself, there's no way you're going to take care of kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. It's important. Very, very
End of the
important.
day,
Take your
you
own
do
advice.
Have to give yourself, you got to give yourself a little bit of time.
Absolutely, dude. And I want you to, and you said that, I want you to take that advice for yourself as well. So
100%.
don't feel bad about that. Get out there and party on Saturday night. Just don't get any DUIs. Because all the cooks at the old places that I used to party at, they partied. Oh my god.
Yeah. Take care of yourself because you have people to take care of. And yeah, you got a good head on your shoulders here. I'm liking this, man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, man. Be well.
You too.
Great questions coming in right now.
know,
Let's
I
put
love
some
this
golden
show.
stars in the chat once again. Hey, everybody. Of course, we are now hitting our 1 hour mark, which means we're halfway through today's call-in show. Of course, if you want to be featured on today's show, you can super chat with your burning questions of love, or you can get right up on stage with these two gentlemen and ask away any question under the sun. Of course, Mike and Blessing here on the couch, having some fun with all of you, with Tim and Nick today. And, of course, a lot of love has been coming in. We have a fun one coming in from Havoc Maker, who says, have you guys ever had a Charlie horse during the act? And if you do have one, how do you make it appear that you aren't climaxing?
First off, I want to shout out an incredible camera shot that Kevin just set up.
good.
That angle specifically looks like there's a giant joint behind Mike and Blessing right now.
420, baby.
And I respect the shit.
Yeah,
out of that.
it really does.
Yeah.
Look at the rug.
I love it. To answer your question, yes, I have had that happen, and specifically in doggy style, which is why I can't fucking stand that position, which is why I spend no time trying to hone that particular technique. Thankfully, I'm married, so there's very few instances of embarrassing things that I haven't been through in sex right now. And my wife is she's married to me, so she's very understanding. So the reality is I just go, oh, ow, ow, I got a Charlie horse, and then I walk to the kitchen, Donald Duck in it, because usually I'm wearing my shirt. I go out there, I get a cup of water, I pour it in my mouth, and then you go right back to it.
He fucks with his shirt on. No, just I'm not mad at that. It's the visual that Nick just put in my mind. Like, why'd you give me so many details of you walking to the fucking kitchen?
Tim, you
'Cause,
can
like,
hear the little pitter patter like I'm a child going to the kitchen.
yeah,
to
I
get a
know,
little
but you're
pepper.
also rock hard. Like, I hate this so
Yeah,
much.
absolutely, dude. Let's put it this way: the shirt's going this way. You know what I mean?
Man.
I look like the number 4.
Yeah. So- I love this. So the thing is, I feel like this stands for a lot of things that when it comes to sex. Do not take it too seriously.
Yeah,
it matters. It's important. But like, don't feel like you're fucking it up. Like, if you're in physical pain, guess what? That's more important than what's happening.
Yeah.
Also, if you can just kind of work through it, whatever, just do that. And it's okay. Like, everyone is thinking that every single moment matters way more than it actually does. The reality is, and this does also come from a place of privilege that we've had partners for a long time that we know.
My wife.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's going to be okay. But I think that, and people can tell me I'm wrong about this, but I think that even your first time having sex, it should not be this like stressful, confrontational battle.
No,
It should be a thing of be you,
Yeah.
do you. And if you are having issues in any way, they should understand that. And if they don't, that's probably not someone you want to be with. And I understand that there's different levels to relationships and sexual encounters specifically, and that might not be for somebody. And if that's the case, that's okay. Don't take that as like a hit of, oh my God, I can never have good sex again. You couldn't have good sex with that person. That's okay.
Sure.
You will have good sex with other people. And if you have problems with Charlie horses, which I have many times, I'm trying to get in these weird positions. Again, we're talking about the size difference.
Yeah.
That affects everybody. Every single person is a different height. That creates different scenarios that you have to deal with. As long as you're trying and you respect each other and you're able to kind of like, I don't even want to say the whole, like, as long as you can laugh at it. That's part of it. But it's like, as long as you can just talk through it.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be fun. It should be fun.
It should be fun.
What's more fun than having a Charlie horse during sex and having a good laugh about it, and then of course having a Donald Duck get over to the kitchen, get a little cup of water, little sippy cup of water, put it down, go back to work.
Yeah.
Get back to
Go
work.
back to work.
Daddy's
Yeah.
home.
Mm-hmm.
I love a good giggle during sex.
Real quick, I have a quick question. So doggy style, that's when everyone's standing up. Can we start calling like when both people are on their knees? Can we call that puppy style?
I'm going to say hard no.
Okay.
Hard pass on that.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Bless, what do you think?
No. Okay, Bless, I
See,
don't.
Bless, like, no, like the hardest I've ever seen him shake his head.
There you go.
Let's take it back to the phone lines right now. Of course, over in our Discord channel, we have a center stage set up where you can come in and raise your hand and get brought up on stage just like Corn Pillow, a.k.a. Proper Matt, is right now. Proper Matt, take us away with your question.
Matt?
Who's going to talk first?
Do we have you, Matt?
Proper Matt, you will be sidelines in just a moment. Oh, here he comes. All right, Proper Matt, we'll see you in just a moment. Let's bring up a different best friend, Hayden Ryan. Hayden Ryan, you are now on the phone with Nick and Tim.
Hello?
Hello.
There we go. What's up, dude?
Yo, how's it going? I wrote a question in the Discord chat, but I don't think you guys can see it. But
Do you want to ask us that question, or would you like Mike to read it for you?
no, I'll read it.
Okay.
So I'm 24 years old and currently graduating from college in a game design program within Ontario, Canada.
Right on.
Hell yeah.
But when looking up jobs that I can apply my knowledge and degree to, I found that most opportunities for me are outside of Ontario or even Canada. This has become a point of contention with my girlfriend that I've been with for about a year, who I love very much, as she's only able to work as a teacher within Ontario.
Okay.
And she wouldn't want me to leave. So the question is, should I prioritize my girlfriend and the love I have for her, or the potential of my future career?
What do you think the answer to that should be?
I am leaning towards the career part.
Yeah, I mean, my particular advice to you, especially at 24 years old, would be you have to invest in yourself when you're in your 20s. You don't want to get to 30 and be like, I'm still trying to figure out what my career is while you're starting a family with someone, or specifically starting a family before you figure that out. Because I always say that a healthy relationship means that you have to bring something equal to the table that your partner's bringing, right? Well, right now you don't really have anything. You're just getting stuff started. So I think the importance, unfortunately, has to be on what you want to do in life and investing in yourself right now. And if you guys can figure that out and stay together, i.e., like maybe she can. I don't know if there's a way to figure that out if you were to go to like a Montreal, because I know there's a lot of game design there, or any other places that are hotbeds for game design in Canada. But unfortunately, you want to do something that you can't do in your current place. This is what you studied. It's probably your passion because you're 24 and that shit's hard. I was a computer science major for exactly one day and then I quit. I went to film, but so you got through the whole thing, which means you want to do this shit. So I think you owe it to yourself to try, man. And if that's a sacrifice that she's unwilling to make, then you got to figure that out.
There's a lot going on here. This is a real question. We get a lot of great questions, but I feel like this is one of those ones that I'm like, okay, I want to make sure we absolutely nail it. And Nick, I think you're off to a great start here. I think that where you're at,
freaking out.
What's up?
I'm freaking out a little bit. The camera's still on me there.
Yeah. I'm not an expert in geography. Everybody knows that, but from what I understand, where you are is close to Montreal. So, am I correct there?
That is
closer to Montreal than Vancouver.
Maybe a 10-hour drive, maybe.
Yeah. Okay,
maybe
cool.
more.
So not that close, but still not that far. I think that you're in a great position right now because Montreal is popping off with game design. I think that it is probably the number one place I would want to go if I was an up-and-comer trying to get video games.
Specifically, yeah, sure.
Oh, Canadian, absolutely. But even otherwise, like I think that the Montreal market right now, from indie all the way up to AAA, is so impressively growing, where they have so many opportunities, and I think that there's only going to continue to be more as the subsidizations that Montreal and Canada offers for game design in Montreal, but also the talent there and what they've been able to accomplish. We see big guys like Ubisoft, but then we also see a lot of the indies that are popping off over there. Every year, me and Bless talk about how crazy it is that we go to the GDC events for Nintendo at downtown, and so like 70% of the indie developers showing off their indie games at Nintendo's GDC event are from Montreal. So Montreal is going to be, I mean, it already is, but it's only going to continue to be a bigger gaming hub from every single level. So that's a great place to be around even. On top of that, we're in a remote era, baby. I don't know exactly what you do, but like there's so many opportunities. You don't need to be full time.
Yeah.
And if you're saying you're 10 hours away, potentially you can figure out a contract with them that you only go there a certain amount of times a month or whatever. So there's like flexibility there. On the relationship side of things, I am not going to push for long distance relationships. They can work.
They can work.
I don't think that the likelihood is high, but I also don't think that you guys have been together a year. That means you know each other pretty well. So all it is a conversation of like, hey, is this worth trying to make work? And if her answer is no, I can't speak for you, but at least as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't want to be with somebody that's not down to at least try to make that work. And if it ends up not working, hey, you guys tried and it didn't.
Right.
But it could.
I mean, obviously, look, I understand the anxiety on her part. I get that. You guys are in these moments where you have to make these big life change decisions because you're adults now. You're not in high school anymore where things have no consequences, right? So, but the reality is, this is what you want to do. Can you do anything else? Like, would you go be a lawyer?
No, I would probably make music, honestly.
I mean, that's a possibility as well. So you could segue if you had another passion, but it sounds like game design is kind of what you've been angling toward. So you owe it to yourself to at least try that, unless you've got another thing in Ontario that you want to rock. And music's great as well. But if I can be your mom for a second, I'd be like, do the game design. That's going to be a lot more stable for you probably. But again, unless music is your passion, if you're like, dude, I've always been to be a musician, I just am falling back on game design because that's what my parents want me to do. That's a whole other ball of wax for your therapist to unwind. But I had to break up with someone that I liked a lot to come up to IGN, and it sucked, but it was the best decision I ever made because it started my career, and now look where I am.
Yeah.
In a warehouse.
And again, personal anecdotes here, but I met G, fell in love with G, and started growing KindaFunny, and everything was going so well. And about 9 months into our relationship, she was like, I want to go to grad school. And that means I need to go to either Philadelphia or New Orleans. And that conversation with me started and ended with, okay, cool. Like, what's that look like? How long is it going to take? Like, how many years are you going to be there? What's that going to be? And I think that energy and attitude, like, only made her feel better to be able to go do it. And then she did it. And because of that, she ended up getting it all done in truncated time where it should have been like, I don't know, 6 semesters overall, but she got it done in like 4.5 semesters or something like that to get back. But like that only came from the support of us being like, yo, this is temporary. We're just trying to work through this. You're in a different situation than that because you're saying that she is a teacher, and that's hard. You can't really, that's what you said, right?
Yeah, she's a teacher. She's only certified.
Yeah,
like that's a totally different situation. But you got to just work with the situations you have and support each other. I just think the most important thing in life is supporting your partner and yourself. And if you can do that together, that's when it works. But when there's hardships, you got to be there for each other and kind of like make it work. And now here we are. G moved back and like things are just fucking incredible. But we had it great.
And that's the thing.
But it was hard.
It absolutely can work. If you guys are like, look, we love each other. We're going to be together. If you think this is the person you want to marry, my advice to you would be like, still go to Montreal, start your career, figure it out, because that's what's going to have to happen. If you guys love each other enough, you can make the long distance thing work. It's possible. I'm assuming it's possible she can get credentialed in Montreal. If that is that a possibility, or is that just completely wildly out of the realm of
I think it is, but it'd be like a very long process for and stuff like that. And
fair, but I mean, if you're balling out, making that bank, making that Skrilla, if you know what I'm talking about, out in Montreal, making that fucking Ubisoft money, then maybe she can take 6 months to figure that out. I mean, that's the thing too, is like, we're not in high school or college anymore, right? There are no more moments where like, you don't have to look at everything in terms of 4 years anymore and shit's going to be over. This is your life forever now, bro. It's every day, all day. So you can figure this out. Where there's a will, there's a way. But I would say, don't sell yourself short. Please do the thing you want to do in life, and try to figure it out with her.
Right, awesome. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thanks.
No problem.
Thank you, man.
Take it easy. Enjoy the weekend.
And congrats on everything.
Yeah,
graduating. That's huge.
All right, thanks. See you guys.
Bye.
Great question coming in from Hayden right there. And gold stars are around. The chat is right behind you guys. Great responses there, you two. Always some great feedback from these guys. They always know best. Of course, let's keep it right now being real, Bless, because I want to keep it real with these guys. Aiden writes in and says, hey, guys, my father-in-law, wife's dad, is in the final stages of an aggressive cancer. My question is, how do you guys deal with grief in your partner? Thanks so much, and much love.
I think the most honest answer is not well, and I think that's okay. I think that grief is the type of thing that there is no answer to. You just kind of got to do it and deal with it. And everyone has to many times in their lives. And it is so hard and it never gets easier. And I've never talked to a single person that has been like, oh, I have an answer. I do this and it makes things better or whatever. You just kind of have to be honest with yourself in the moment. And I do think that the worst part about grief is that you going through it affects the people around you, and having to find ways to have to deal with that on top of dealing with your own inner shit feels impossible. And it is impossible, but it is required and it is asked of you. So I think that that's where it really comes down to that you just need to understand that it's okay to feel your feelings, and to whatever that means, let it out, have your moment, be to yourself, be with people. But again, I hate just being such a broken record. It's about communication. If you know what you need or don't need from somebody or from people, let them know, because people want to be there for you and they want to help you.
Yeah.
Help people help you. I think that is the most important thing about dealing with grief that I'm happy that over time I learned. But you really need to let people know, hey, I'm going through this. I'm not okay, but I want to be alone right now, and that's what I need right now. If that's what you need. If you need someone, let them know, hey, can you just sit with me? Or can you just listen?
Right.
I think that's a big thing. Can you just listen? I don't want advice. I don't want anything. I just want to talk. I just want to let my feelings out,
Yeah. I think, Mike, the question is this is his wife's mother?
Wife's father.
Wife's father. Okay. Yeah. Situations like this are terrible. And I'm sorry to hear that. What I would say, just to back up what Tim says, is you can't solve this. There's no solving this, right? People just need to process their emotions. And all you can really do is be there for your significant other. You can only be there for your wife. That's all you can do. And sometimes you're going to feel incredibly useless, but just know that, and sometimes she's not going to be able to communicate what she needs to you or process her feelings in a way that are positive, and or maybe they're going to manifest themselves in every which way. And by the way, I'm sure you have an emotional connection to this as well, so you're going to have some feelings of grief as well. All you can do is, at the end of the day, sit next to your wife on your couch and hold her hand. And that's probably all she really needs you to do at this point. Maybe occasionally help her take care of some of the logistics of dealing with this situation as well, and just be there. If you guys have kids, step it up, take care of the kids, do the dishes, do whatever you can that can just take that load off of her. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is something that's just a life-changing thing, and you guys are it's going to change you guys forever. It's just never going to be the same. But as long as you guys are together and you're there for each other, you'll get through it.
Great answers all around. Let's put some gold stars in that one. A real good conversation there. And yeah, being there for your partner, number one priority there. Let's start to trend back up to fun side of things, but let's keep it real right now. Francisco writes in, Nick Scarpino, just moved on my own from to the UK from Peru to work on a new video game company. I'm 28, and I feel like my social life has suffered after the hard reset since getting here. Any tips on how to begin again?
Absolutely, man. Look, here's the number one thing that people always think. And I've done this, by the way. I didn't move quite as far, although I wish I had moved to the UK, because that's awesome that you're doing that for yourself. I fucking love the UK. But what I'll say is, don't expect that this stuff is going to change overnight and you're all of a sudden going to have your old life back. It's going to be different, and it's going to take a really long time. It took me about a year-ish to get my feet underneath me and make a solid friend group of people at my company that we could then go out every weekend and party together. But it happened. And some of those guys I'm still friends with today. I've been in their weddings. I've been best mans in their weddings. I've celebrated their wives' birthdays, even to this day. So it will happen. You're probably going to make some great bros and some great friends at this game developer that you're at. And if not, again, same advice for Ignacio Rojas that we gave when he was calling earlier. What else do you like to do that's not work? Don't get caught. I mean, you're in the game development, and of course, you're going to get caught up in that culture of wanting to work, and this is your life, and this is everything. Make sure you're carving out time to step away from that. Have a hobby, have another passion outside of that. Like I say, I love stand-up comedy. I don't do it for the money. Thank fucking God. I do it because it's fun. I do it because I get to be around a diverse group of people. I do it because I get to hang out in different situations and drive to different places. That's the shit that I love. Find your shit outside of work, and the social circle will come.
Yeah, like I always like to say, Nick, say yes to adventure. Me and Kevin have taken on that mantra, and Kevin really imparted that on me. What's that knocking?
Mike, someone's knocking at the door. Who is it?
Open it up. Who is it, Nick?
Hey, it's adventure, Mike.
Oh
I'm
my
knocking.
God.
Do you want to let me in?
And I say, hell yes. And
Hell
the best
yeah.
part about that, Nick, is when you're off on your own and you're starting fresh, right? It's like, it does feel like it's just you. And I know that's a lot. But say yes to adventure. Go out with new people. Go out with coworkers. And the best part, if you want to be like me, just give them the little Irish goodbye and run away. You know what I mean? If you're not feeling the vibe, just leave. You know what I mean? You're there solo.
Bounce. I love that, Mike.
Just bounce, right?
Again,
at least you tried.
Here's one thing we haven't talked about yet, and we'll get to the next question. I want to tell everyone a little story about the power of no. You can always say no to shit if you don't want to do it. That is such a freeing concept, right? Because sometimes you're like, oh my God, I don't know what I want to do, but I want to get out there and I want to do this stuff. Just know that you can be like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Oh, that sounds fun. I'll go out for drinks with everyone. That sounds awesome. Oh, by the way, I got you a coffee.
Oh, do you want it?
No, that's for you. Oh, you got a second one for me?
No, I don't need it.
Oh, okay.
It said Nick, and I was like, I'm bringing it to him.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I got you a venti if you want one.
Thank you, though.
Let's keep the fun going right now. We have another one coming in from a young man, a kind man, a spider boy.
Spider boy.
Mr.
Spider boy.
Carboni writes in and says, any advice on meeting people for a middle-aged man who is obsessed with his dog and lists naps as his only hobby?
Okay, we got a lot to unpack there. First off, a lot of people are obsessed with their dogs. So yes, one of the ways you could probably meet people is at a dog park. Take the dog out. I'm sure there's dog clubs. Hell, if you're in Orange County, there's places that are restaurants specifically for you to bring your dog there. You can sit at the bar, you can hang out with your dog. Other people have dogs. Boom. The dogs become friends. Oh my God, we got to get a party play date with the dogs. The dogs have to do this. The dogs love each other, yada, yada, yada. Suddenly, you're making out with someone in their mid-30s as well.
And we're talking about Dagger here. We're talking about one of the cutest dogs I've ever seen in my life. We're talking about the
do we know this dog? Did I miss this?
This is Anthony Carboni.
Oh, this is Carboni.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, I missed that. I'm sorry.
Right?
Carboni?
Correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Oh,
I missed some of the intro in that, but
Sorry,
I thought that was right.
Too.
Yeah.
I mean, Carboni, get the fuck out of here. Come on. Get the fuck out of here. Next question.
Next question.
Sexy ass
We're going
motherfucker.
to
Get out
take
of
it
here.
to the phone lines, Tim Geddes, because we have
okay.
a lot of best friends lined up, ready to ask some questions. And we're here on the back
Carboni
half
out there with
of
that
our
sexy ass
episode.
hair asking how he's got to meet people. Get out of here.
Dude, it's hard for good-looking people, too, though, man.
I mean, I wouldn't know, okay?
yo.
I had to rely on my charm when I met my wife, right?
Yeah, I don't know about the status of Carboni's relationship right now, but like, just because you're a beautiful person and a great person, an amazing human being, super talented, super funny, super knowledgeable about so many goddamn things,
So good.
doesn't mean that it's easy. I think that earlier we were talking to Ignacio and he was like bringing up I don't feel good enough. I don't think anyone feels good enough. And if you do feel good enough, you're probably a bad person.
I mean, I'll say this. If I had Anthony Carboni's hairline, that just majestic John Stamos wave, I'd be a bad person. Yeah.
Yep. All right, well, let's take it to the
I would
phone
be
line
so
with that.
egotistical.
Bring
I've
up
often
our
said,
next guest.
if I had his hairline and I had your height, I'd be so fucking evil. I would just be a terrible human being.
That is true.
Thank God made me bald and squatty.
CD is coming in right now to call in. CD, you're now on the line. Please ask away.
Hello, gentlemen. How
Hello.
are you doing on this fine evening?
So
we are
good.
well.
What
How
a
are you?
blast.
Good to hear your voice.
I'm very well, thank you. Snowbike Michael, blessing. I trust you're well also.
They are doing well. He's waving his hand right now at you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So much like some of the previous questions, I do have a fairly heavy one.
Okay.
So I appreciate your patience.
Wait,
in
before you ask
advance.
that, Kevin, can you turn him up just a little bit in our ear? Okay, go for it.
Great. So something strange has been happening to me, and I'm hoping you guys can help shed some light on it.
Okay.
So every time that I see Johnny Ace,
Yeah, the ace man.
I start peeing mayonnaise.
You start spitting out the goo?
I do.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if
Mhm.
you could help me understand, why this happens and perhaps clarify some of that ambiguity around what's going on.
Sure.
Excuse me, with my body.
Yeah, that's smart. I understand where you're at now, and I see where we're going with this particular line of questioning. And I'll just say this, okay, to be real for a second. You're not alone. This is happening around the world, every continent. Johnny Ace can't even get onto or off of a plane without people slipping and sliding all over the place. Okay? So unfortunately, this might be a first, Tim.
Yeah.
I don't have a solution for this.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer. I myself have fallen victim to this particular ailment. So I have to defer to you, sir.
I mean, I now understand why Cool Greg hates Johnny Ace.
Ace man coming.
You know, it's the man.
Johnny Ace walked in today. Cool G goes, good to see you again. It was awesome. Such a cool.
Cool Greg, can you turn the AC off, please?
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Drying out my eyeballs here. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your question.
Thank you,
Very
thank
important
you so
question.
much. Thank
Important
you.
question.
I don't know
we'll
how to
get back
help.
to you on that one.
I don't know if it can be helped.
Love and Sex Stuff Part 2. We'll try to have an answer for you on that one when we do it in 17 months from now.
understand.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, CD, for calling in. Let's keep it going to the phone lines with our next call in, Jordan D, about to throw some D in this call.
Hey, yo, what's up, guys?
What's up,
What's
Jordan?
up, Jordan?
Nothing much. So, before I have a question,
Okay.
oh, I'm trying to get you guys on speakerphone right now.
You got us. We got
Gotcha.
you.
We're here with you.
While you figure that out for a second, I thought it was going to be Jordan D's nuts, and I was like, God damn it, Mike.
Here we go.
I thought it was going to be that, Mike.
See, I want you fighting that way. I really did.
I appreciate
It
you. I
probably
appreciate you
looked
for
like
being
I
more
actually-
mature than that.
Yeah.
What's your question?
I have an update for you guys.
Oh.
Before I have a question, an update.
Okay.
From the Love, Sex, and Stuff you guys did in February 2020.
Okay.
So I called in about my cousin and his fiance, and my sister's not having like the best relationship. Do you guys
Right.
remember that?
Yes.
Vaguely.
Vaguely. We're going to need some updates on it.
Yeah. Give us the plot synopsis on the IMDb.
So, I feel like it got a little worse before it got much better. There was eventually just something that made us have to sit down and just have a conversation. And I'm happy to report my cousin and his fiance got married. They're doing great. And me and all my sisters just recently came back from visiting them.
Okay, cool.
So all of the animosity between you guys was sort of put to rest with a conversation that I'm sure was not exactly easy, but you guys got through it.
That is exactly, yeah, you put it into the best words. Like at some point there was just hey, we need to have this conversation and nobody likes it. But I feel like after we all accepted that and got through those tough feelings, everything worked out. Everything worked out well.
That is good to know. That is really, really good to know, and I'm happy to hear that. And it honestly, this happens all the time, and you see it in every single interaction you have with people. That pent up stuff starts to be a lot more imposing than it needs to be. And a conversation sometimes can be very therapeutic. It can be an opportunity for growth on all sides. So I'm glad you guys took that opportunity and took the initiative and made it happen.
Yeah.
I don't remember the details of this, but I do remember the general vibe, and something that I can definitely say now, 3 years later from that conversation, that I stand by now more than I ever did, is that there is a lot of fun when it comes to talking shit about people. Let's just be real. It's fun to do.
It's fun as fuck.
But I do think there is a line that once you cross, you need to be aware of we're just doing this for fun, or we're just being real. And then it just turns nasty. You never want to be on the nasty side of things. And I think that once you cross that line of nasty, it's hard to get back. So every single thing, the person you don't like for whatever dumb reason, you now hate them. And now everything they do, you hate them. They're the worst partner ever. How could my sister be with this person? Or whatever. So I think that there's a lot of you're being an adult here. I love hearing this because I think this is important for people to understand that people can change, things can change, you can change. Your understanding of the people around you can change. So I just want people to be open to the idea that hey, as fun as talking shit and not liking someone and being as a group being yo, we're all right. They suck, right?
Yeah.
That is fun, but you also need to make sure that they suck and that you're not being mean to somebody and giving them an opportunity to change and grow based on the problems that they have.
You also have to make sure you're not projecting, right? That's when you start getting nasty. I want everyone out there that's listening to me, because I do this all the time. I get in my head. I'm like, this and that, especially in circles spoilers, stand-up comedy is like high school.
Oh,
so much so.
I'm sure.
And I have to remind myself, you're not in high school. You're a 43-year-old person, adult. You're hopefully. And sometimes when I start getting negative about someone, I stop myself and I go, am I really thinking that about them, or I think about that about myself? Is that my insecurity coming out? Are they just doing better than me in this particular thing? And what does that say about me? It's a time whenever you have those thoughts about someone else, I'm just saying it's a time for self-reflection as well. Important to know. But I'm glad to hear that's happened, that worked out well for you, because family is very important, and I'm glad that you can welcome a new person into your family. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, man, this is great.
Yeah, no, it worked out well. As for my question, have you guys ever been in a situation where you feel like you're, I guess stunted is the right word, that like you don't have the same amount of experience as people your age in terms of like life experience?
Yeah.
So you just feel like
all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, it's so I'll tell you from my perspective, because I'm the oldest person here. Like, working with people who are very like younger than me has given me really good perspective on that, because I stopped comparing myself to everyone, because everyone in this office has a knowledge base that's completely different than mine, regardless of their age. So it's actually very liberating to be like, oh, I'm not going to be a master of everything out there. I'm not going to be great at everything. I'm good at some stuff. I'm getting better at other stuff. But a lot of my contemporaries, especially guys that are kind of my own age in comedy specifically, are like, I mean, everyone that's got a Netflix special right now is my age in comedy. Bert Kreischer is like 47. So like, put that in perspective. Andrew Santino's 40. So like, these are people doing at various stages of their life. But you know, I think it's an opportunity to learn from these people and not be and be inquisitive and be curious and grow yourself, as opposed to saying like, oh shit, how come I don't know how to change a tire, right? That's a bad way to do it, because then you start resenting yourself or other people, and it just gets you in a negative space, and that's when the growth stops.
Yeah. I mean, man, I can't say it any better than he just did. That is the answer. You have to. I've always found success in my life kind of looking at the people ahead of me and what I can learn from them, and then also looking behind me age-wise of being like, what can I learn from you? And I think that it's the people that I've noticed that actually give a shit about that, Nick being one of them, of like meeting me and being like, I want to learn from this guy. That meant so much to me, man. Like, because it really did, where I was like, oh shit, like there is somebody that I respect that values my opinion, values my understanding of things we're doing, and we were able to keep moving forward. And now, like, I can't even name the amount of people that I look at, the blessings, like Mike, Barrett's, Rogers, everybody there, that I'm like, I love being able to learn from people. And age is just part of it. It's experience, I think, is a bigger thing. Like Mike, who is closer in age to me than most people at KindaFunny, or at least that might not be true, but like he's close in age to me, but that doesn't matter. He's taught me so much. There was like an experience that he has that I don't. Age is just part of the whole thing.
And that's the thing too, is like you have to set your ego aside and say that just because you're older, like I think older generations were like, oh, you have to respect your elders, they know best, yada yada yada. It's not true, right? Your life experience is what teaches you what you know. And if you don't have certain life experiences, you're just not going to know that thing, right? My dad can change the brakes on his car. Probably could still to this day, if he chose to. I would never fucking do that. I will never do that. I tried one time and I was like, this is dangerous and seems irresponsible. But that doesn't make me less of a person. If I want to do that, I can go out and learn that stuff. So I think it's every time you meet someone who is farther along in different places or has different knowledge bases than you, it's an opportunity for you either to learn or gain a very valuable friend that can change your brakes.
Kevin.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Just don't get in a negative space about it. It's just an awesome, that's the thing. It boils down to like, again, looking internally, what does that say about you? If you're intimidated by these people, you have to ask yourself why. And I think there's some personal growth in there as well.
Warren Pulowski in the chat says, always be learning and realize there are people realize there are a lot of people who've chosen to stop learning.
Oh yeah.
And that is, honestly, I want to add that to the tenets. That is such a great statement. But like, you should always want to be learning and be able to admit, hey, I thought this was right. I knew this was right. I was wrong. Let's change that. Whatever that is. You want to be learning. You want to be able to evolve. You want to be able to change. That doesn't mean you need to learn everything. I will never learn how to change brakes.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
No need to.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Don't change your own brakes, by the way. That's a bad
yeah,
idea.
don't do that.
That's a terrible idea. There you go. Did that help? I hope that helped.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Great question coming in. And of course, shout out, always be learning is a great line right there that we're going to hold on to. We have a fun run right here. And Bless, I want to get you involved in this one because I think all of us can go around the table and answer this one. Of course, Kinda Batman writes in and says, question for Nick, but this will be for Tim and Bless as well. If doggy is your weakest position, what's your best position?
Oof.
The show's never been this vibe. I love that all of a sudden.
I don't care.
Now it's like these questions are what people think love and sex stuff is. And hey, I'm not afraid to answer.
I'm not afraid to answer it. My best position, face ride. It's gonna be it for love and sex stuff today, folks. Tune in next month. Is that wrong? Is that a wrong thing to say?
I hate that I knew it. I hate that
No,
I
you
was like,
know it,
I know
Kevin.
what it is. I know.
I
what
know
it
you
is.
know it.
I love it. I love it. That's fucking awesome.
Where I want to be.
Look,
My
guys,
preferred place. I'm
we've
comfortable.
said it a
down
million times. It's about honesty. Nick's being so
That's it.
fucking honest
Where I
right
like to
now.
be.
And hey, that's an awesome thing. There's only right about that.
I can see all of her. She can't see my stomach. It's perfect. Hope you're drinking out there,
I
everyone.
love how somehow you then made it.
It's fine.
Oh, that was fantastic. Bless, do you have an answer?
I mean, my answer is basic, right? Like, it's a very vanilla answer, but I would say for me it is missionary.
Mish.
And
Mish.
part of that comes back to actually like why doggy style doesn't do it for me. And part of that is I like the face-to-face interaction. Like, there's something about, like, I don't know if it's just intimacy or what, but there's something about being face-to-face with the other person. And like, I get more of that in missionary. I enjoy that more. And then also you can I like controlling the flow. I like controlling like the rhythm of it and being able to slow down when I want, go fast when I want, like kind of control the stamina situation. I find it enjoyable. I find it way more enjoyable than doggy.
I love that. I love that. Tim?
I love that we all have different answers here that are all very us.
Yeah.
And all of us are on the same side of things. For me, it's just, I just kind of lay there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you like her
She's
on
on
top?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like her to do the work.
And well, but
the lazy man sex position.
It's more, but it's, I mean, whatever. Lazy might be part of it, but it's also,
No, you
I'm
gotta
trying
get
my
that-
goddamn best.
You got to
know
get
what I
that thrust in
No,
there.
there's movement. There's like, I'm working
You're
hard.
risking a back
I'm
split.
working hard
Sure.
on that. But yeah, no,
Absolutely.
it's the her on top position. But like, again, the most important thing is understanding each other and knowing where we're at.
Dude, the her on top position, by the way, is like, it's like a cheat code. It's like the game genie.
We've got it down.
Bro, it's
man.
this, and this is what always kills me is like guys are like, oh, sex is hard. How do I get better at sex? Here's how you get better at sex. Lay on your back, she gets on top, and she'll take care of the rest. And
Listen.
you just get to watch the fireworks happen.
Just fucking listen.
It's incredible. It's
Let
incredible.
it happen. Help out where you can.
Yeah,
I got one that I forgot about.
Yeah.
That I've recently added into the rotation.
So you mean another sexual position other than missionary?
Yeah, other than
Okay,
missionary.
fair. Okay,
Missionary
fair.
is
There's
my second
nothing.
favorite.
Hold on, real quick before you say anything you're about to say. I want to say that. Give me my one. There is nothing wrong with just what works. Don't feel like you need
Bro,
the
if it
Kama
ain't
Sutra
fixed-
of doing a bunch of positions. Fuck, that's not what sex is. Sex is you and your partner having fun and enjoying each other. So like, don't worry about like, oh, we're only doing one position or we're only doing this, we're only
Right.
doing that. Are you guys having a good time? That's what matters the most.
Is someone climaxing? Is
I,
one or both
I
of
am
you
getting a
climaxing?
phone call, and Chad's telling me I've gotten multiple phone calls here. So I'm gonna call this number back.
Okay.
All right. Sorry to derail.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
All right. Here we
He's
go.
calling.
Here we go. Here we
Calling
go.
back.
Hello.
Hello, this is Jeff Grubb. You're on Game That Decides podcast. I have a question that I think you guys might be able to help me with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you guys? I have a buddy here who my friends always call. They say he's a virgin, but he's definitely had sex.
Okay.
What should he do? What sort of energy should he put out there? Not in like a creepy way, but to convince people that hey, I've definitely had sex.
Oh, that's a great question. We get this a lot. They sell T-shirts that say, "Hey, I've definitely had sex," and I think you could just get your friend a large or like get him in like a slightly tighter shirt than he needs, and that's the play right there.
Is your friend Mike? Is it Mike Minotti?
It's Mike Minotti that I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
want to dox anybody here, but yeah, Mike Minotti. That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
fair.
tight shirt that says I definitely had sex. That's
Yeah,
the answer.
I think that's the important thing.
Okay, cool. Any special fonts I should consider?
Ooh.
Anything like should it be like loud and proud.
I think don't go too crazy. Don't buy a custom font. I say like an impact bold that like a
Go
font
bold.
that go bold.
Go bold.
Go bold is great.
Bold. All right,
Yeah. Go bold is great. I like that.
Yeah. Maybe make it a little italicized, but
Yeah.
like not properly italicized.
Like you did it by
1%
accident.
or like 15%. What are we talking?
Okay, here's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Imagine a adult man that is approximately like 5'4", I think, in a t-shirt but with no pants. That's hard, and it creates like a 4 shape.
Okay, I don't know about 5'4". Yeah.
That's beautiful. I want to think about this more.
Yeah, we like to call it the walking tent.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's how I imagine Bubsy all the time. Just a 5'4" man in a t-shirt, just rock hard.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I love you so much. I also love that this is a crossover between game pesticides and love and sex.
This makes sense.
Y'all have a great time. Talk to you
perfect.
soon.
Boys,
Thanks
have a good night. Thanks for taking my call.
Bye.
Bye, Jeff. What is this
I'm
life?
sorry, Nick.
I
always
love
have
it.
to take
I
the
love
joke
this.
a little
I love
too
this
far.
energy.
You know
man.
what I mean?
A little too far. My nickname in high school. That was weird.
Yeah, it's not a good.
Anyway,
That seemed weird. Let's dial that joke back. What's the next question?
well, I was gonna share the actual position, right? Because
I'm sorry.
the question was the
okay.
position you're best at, right? Or was it the position you like the most? You're best at. The best at. I don't know what the name of the position is, but it's one. I'll demonstrate. Yeah.
I mean, you guys have a couch.
Well, no, I need to demonstrate with somebody else. So like, it.
He's right there, Blast. Like, just show us. I think I don't think it's the right thing to.
I hope that. Oh man. I mean, this is. I want everyone's getting consent. Get your consent. All right, my
Okay,
consent.
sweet. So like you, so you face that way,
How do you
right?
want me?
Wait, like you're laying down. You're laying down.
Okay.
And I'm on like your side. Yeah, you're laying on the
Oh.
side, facing away.
Yeah.
And I'm laying on the side behind you, but like.
Oh, big
So
spoon,
it's
little
like,
spoon.
it's like a sideways
Like a
doggy, but like you're both
spooning, yeah.
laying at the same time. I don't know what the
It's
name
like
of
a
that is,
cross, right?
but it's like I added that into my rotation in the last 2 years, and it's been incredible.
Now, a question for you.
What's
Have
up?
you tried the combination of that and doggy, where you're like your legs are interlaced, you're still up, she's on her side, you can see half the face, but it feels like doggy, but then there's all sorts of hands and things that can get in there.
Nick, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
you're gonna have to demonstrate with Tim. So
you want to do it, Nick?
Tim, I'm gonna need your No, we're not gonna do
No?
No,
Okay,
absolutely
okay.
not. That's where I draw the
All
line.
right, let me get everybody back on track because we have 20 minutes left on tonight's show right now. We've been giving you love, sex, and stuff during happy hour, but we're moving into the night, and we have a whole lot of questions. So, of course, if you get called up on stage, please keep them short, keep them brief. Let's get it on point because we have a lot of people waiting. But I have one more write-in, of course, we have to answer right here, right now. And it goes like this. Aaron writes in and says, hey, I'm 23 and I'm thinking about going to Turkey to get my hairline fixed. I've always had a receding hairline since I was a child, and it's an insecurity of mine. People have told me that I'm too young to do so. What do you think?
That a lot of people are doing this because the hair replacement in Turkey, specifically Turkey for whatever reason, I guess is like reliable and cheap. I don't know. My one thing I would say is make sure you do your research with this. Make sure that you have reliable information that the people that are going to do this are going to do it well. It's a far way to go and a lot of money to spend for something that's going to fall out the next day potentially. I will say this. I've been receding since I was 25. I take the pills. I do the shampoo. I got the vitamin gummies. I've done everything I can medically to keep what I've got right now. But I'm on the fence about the hair replacement. I just feel like that for me personally is just a little bit too far. I would love to go back to shaving my head. My wife will not let me. She has said, enjoy it while you got it. And I would think that that's probably going to be my advice to you is see if you can find a way to just kind of love what you got. But if you really feel compelled, like this is something you have to do it, man. Just be safe about it. Make sure you're doing it in a very safe way. And this place is on the up and up.
Great answer right there. Let's get some gold stars in there. Let's move on to the phone lines. We have a lot of people to go through. So like I said, please keep it short, keep it brief, and let's have some fun. Pulling up Kebabs up onto the phone line. Kebabs, what do you got us?
What up, Babs?
Hello. Am I audible?
You're here?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, cool. This will be short because I don't even have a question. I have a statement. Well, more of an announcement, you can say.
Oh.
I've been very nervous about this, but this is my official announcement that I am gender fluid.
Oh,
And I thought I would do it here.
Congratulations. Coming out here on Love, Sex, and Stuff. Kind of funny, baby.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, congratulations, and thank you for sharing that with us and being brave enough to do that on air. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Right on.
I want the gold stars in the chat, everybody. This is a moment.
Does it?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a follow-up question? And obviously, you're in the
sure.
middle of it. Do you feel relief right now? Because I hope you do. I hope that feels like a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, I mean,
Not yet. You're like, no, I'm still in the middle of this.
I've had this internalized for quite a while, and I know exactly when because it was like a week before Animal Crossing came out.
Fair.
And that's sort of where I first started experimenting, sort of like, oh, what would it be? What would things be like? Blah, 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 with the character customization and stuff. So that's why I remember.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I've actually been wanting to do this since then because you did the Love, Sex, and Stuff that February. So I thought, oh, they'll do another one at the end of the year. That'll be easy.
Perfect. Well, thank you for choosing this particular community and this venue for sharing that. That's very important to us, and that's awesome. Congratulations.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Definitely look back at the replays of the chat because people are popping off right now. So many stars, so many congratulations, so many amazing things out here. This is awesome, dude. Or what are the pronouns now? What would you prefer to go by?
I mean, one day it will be she, her, but for right now, I'm honestly just fine so long as you're not derogatory about it.
Copy that. Well,
there you go, everyone.
Obviously, you have the space to evolve that as you see fit.
Yeah, everyone's making it up. That's sort of like what gives me sort of the confidence to even think of this in the first place, I suppose.
I love it.
For sure.
I love
For
it.
sure.
Everyone, let's support Kebabs. We did it.
Throw some hearts out in the chat, too, please. Let's see some love. Let's see some love there in the chats.
There we go. Great stuff right there. Keep that love going as, of course, we got to keep the phone lines open and keep them flowing. So we are going over to P Swag. P Swag, you are now up on the stage with Nick and Tim.
Gentlemen, hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
Hold on, P Swag. Are you Patrick from Atlanta?
Yes, sir. I was about to ask if you even remembered.
Wow. MomoCon, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Our first convention as Kind of Funny.
Was that the Nutter Butter one?
Once upon a time, sang the national anthem.
He came up on stage and sang the national anthem on our panel at MomoCon.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the stage.
Hey, thanks. I could sing for you guys right now, but we're running short.
We are.
I just have a question. So,
go for it.
Tim, Nick, a lot has happened in my life since then. Happily married. Tim, the woman that you met at MomoCon, my wife now.
Congratulations. You love to see. That was 2015, y'all.
Nice.
It was.
Awesome.
We've been together
with your cool
since
vocal stylings.
2010.
Awesome.
Maybe. Yeah. It's been a long time. But the reason I'm here, as I said, a lot of things have happened in my life. I am about a year and a half into my own podcast, episode 77 today. We're seeing some growth.
Sweet.
Averaging like 150 a week. So, small numbers, but
good numbers,
more than
though.
I ever anticipated.
If you're getting 150 a week, there's consistency.
Right. So it's the consistency that I'm proud of at the moment, but it's been the 150 for a while. So my question is, for someone who doesn't necessarily have a built-in audience across social media, like Instagram, I have like 600-700 people, Twitter, like 150, mostly just friends. What would your recommendation be on how to kind of start growing more at this point? Because I feel like we've plateaued the podcast at the moment, and I'm struggling to kind of figure out how do I go to the next step.
So let me get this straight. You have a YouTube channel or two that have plateaued.
What do you do?
That's a rough question.
Great questions.
These are great.
Yeah,
You're asking hard
really
questions,
know the
bro.
right people. Sex and love stuff. We're here for you.
Yeah,
we can answer that.
Well, I mean, real talk. You just got to keep plugging at it. Networking is huge as well. So if you can get guests that grow, that can help grow your audience, that's a huge one too. But this is the $1 million question, right? This is the question of like, the hardest question to ask, which is the most important. How do you get more audience? How do you get more reach? And that's like saying, how do I become famous, right? How do I become a superstar?
Sure.
It's rough. You got to have the special sauce, and you got to get that special sauce in the right people's hands. And I will say, for us, obviously having the amplification of our old network IGN, that's always important. So I call it the X factor, right? For comics, I'm like, you want to become a big comic, you got to have the X factor. You got to get on a show, you got to get a Netflix special, you got to have your Instagram reels pop, all that jazz. So just, I would say, look at every single possible outlet for your content and make sure you're maximizing that. Are you posting every day to Instagram? Are you trying to mess that algorithm up so it gets you like 100 billion followers on that stuff? Those are questions that you got to ask yourself.
Sure. I think a great way, personally, and I'm going to say this only now because it will not be true for the future, but it's just for right now, for this one time. I think a great way would be to call in to a love, sex, and life advice show
and tell people
and ask how to promote your content and then promote your content. What is your content?
What's it called?
Sure. So podcast is called Spotlight Games. We're found on Twitter at Spot Games Pod, Instagram Spotlight Games Pod, and we're on Twitch at Spotlight Games Pod as well. Tuesday nights is when we record, 8 p.m. Eastern time, live there, and then the shows come out Thursdays as well. So yeah, we talk video games. We have a couple other podcasts as well, but the main one at the moment is the Games Podcast. So if you want some more gaming content, Spotlight Games Pod, man.
Check it out. Check it out. And honestly, please, in the future, everyone, do not do this. But the honest answer that I want to give to all the best friends out there, I want y'all to know how much of a leg up you have on so many people. Like, everyone watches KindaFunny, and they're like, oh, KindaFunny used to be at IGN. They know how to talk about video games. They know how to do video game podcasts, all that stuff. It's a pretty unique thing. And I've only learned that in the last 5 years that I've guested on podcasts, and I realized the way people talk about games compared to the way we talk about games. And I'm like, yo, we're really good at this.
We're great.
Bless is so good at this.
Is the go
Mike
level.
is so good at this.
Mike brings happiness.
There's something about it that I do think that it is a rarity to have the specific skill set that we have when it comes to talking about video games. And that is then learned by the people listening to us. So everyone out there that has a podcast because they listen to KindaFunny or IGN or GameSpot or Game Informer, there's not that many media outlets out there that do what we do, that do shows that are just talking about the nitty gritty about video game acquisitions and all that stuff. You have a leg up already. I just want everyone to know, if you're listening to us, if you're doing the podcast, if you have consistency, you probably are more equipped and have a better resume than most people out there applying for jobs other places. Apply that to your own stuff. You're doing the thing already.
Do the thing.
Just get in front of people.
Keep going. Never stop. Yeah. Most important thing. Keep going. Mikey?
Thanks, y'all.
Great question. Shout out to my guy out there for keeping the consistency. Let's take one more right in, and then we'll get back to the phone lines as we start to end our night. And this is an interesting one, and I'm looking for your guys' take. Moxie has wrote in, I'm 25, and I've completely lost interest in self-pleasure. Like, I don't even get aroused anymore. I don't know if it's stress or anxiety, but I can't find the balance. Tim and Nick, what's up?
Talk to a doctor about that. That might be a hormone level question. That might be if you're on antidepressants, those can kill your libido as well. That much I know. Of course, we are not physicians. We are not qualified to give you that information, but I would go to a doctor or a therapist that can prescribe medication. Talk to them about that. Have your blood tested. See what's going on there medically first, and then beyond that, if that's not if there's nothing medically happening with you, maybe consider talking to someone to figure out why that might be setting in and how we can take some positive steps toward alleviating that anxiety so you can get back out there and start laying pipe again.
That's it. It's a
great answer. Great answer right there. Let's take it to the phone lines right now.
Mike, I do need to say we need to wrap up here.
Oh, you want to wrap up?
It's 7 p.m. Kev needs to go somewhere.
Okay. I had 151. Let's get out of here then.
How many questions do we have left?
You have a lot.
Okay. We might need to save these for.
Let's wrap it up then. Let's wrap it up. You guys are the kings of the time.
We got to wrap here. We got to wrap. Kev has places to go. We got to respect the time. It is 7:01 p.m. We love everybody, and we will figure it out.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for Love and Sex Stuff After Dark. Love, Sex, and Stuff After Dark. This was brought to you guys, of course, by Patreon. Thank you guys for making this happen. We got more coming, and we'll figure out how to save your questions for the next time. We love you very, very much. Until next time, follow the 4 rules.
Yes.
Goodbye.
3 more to go.
Three?
It's 4 now.